Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our daily word this morning. It's Monday morning, the start of a new week, and as always, I'm grateful you would carve out time to be with me and to share your lives with me as we begin a new week together. So, as always, I'm grateful that you offer greetings as well when you sign in. So, thanks for joining me and for sharing this time with me together on this rather long journey of the daily word. I always think about that on Monday. Here we go, another week, and how long we've been sharing this journey together. I'm going to place flame to my Christ candle before we go any further. It is a reminder of the presence of the Holy Spirit. So if you have your candle, I invite you to light it as well as an invitation of the Holy Spirit where you are. So after a lot of events and the past week and the looming week and the scepter of a trade war and rising prices and people living in fear, this particular verse of this psalm jumped out at me. Psalm 56, verse 3. O Most High, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. So what do you do when you're afraid? When you're really afraid? Now, as a kid, you get afraid of a lot of things. I used to be deathly afraid of thunderstorms. I kind of like them now, except when I'm at the lake and it seems like they're going to blow me away. But I like thunderstorms. I like the possibilities of the refreshing of the earth, with rain and thunder and lightning and what that means for us. I've always been deathly afraid of snakes. I still am to this day. The way that I deal with that fear is I just stay away from them. I don't go to places where they are. When we go to the zoo with the kids, I don't go into the place where the snakes are. I just stay away from those things. But that's not really the kind of fear that we're talking about here. It's this eternal fear. Some of the fears I already mentioned. We have friends who are going to lose their job. They already know their job's coming to an end, and the fear of finding a new job, it's real. And for that fear that they have in their lives, one of the first things they did is reached out to me for prayer and a conversation that we're going to have about some guidance and about some what do you do next in life. We have fears of what's going to happen with this trade war and rising prices that are going to happen. There's just no doubt. And the list goes on and on. The flu is running rampant right now and folks are really sick. There's just a list of things, right, that we fear. Now, when we are afraid, maybe, and maybe might be the key word here, maybe we put our trust in God. But probably, if we're honest with ourselves and with each other and with God, we usually trust our own devices and our own designs first. We worry. We toss and we turn. We try to figure out things on our own, devise strategies. We procrastinate. We get depressed. We eat. Or we starve ourselves. We get angry, whatever it is. The truth is, I think sometimes for us, is that when we're under siege, we'll do just about anything to trust in God. That's honest, and I think it's honest for many of us if we allow ourselves to think in that way. But King David, to whom Psalm 56 is attributed, he would have been grateful too. According to tradition, David wrote this psalm when imprisoned by the Philistines. Perhaps in that fearful situation, David trusted in God. Yet often he didn't, right? We know the story of David. His fear drove him to war against his enemies, including King Saul and his own sons. Faced with Bathsheba's pregnancy, he conspired in her husband's death. But this psalm, for us and David, of course, offers us a way out of fear. The writer broke the silence, telling God about truth and fear and anger and besiegers. The psalmist's plea for help, then he shifted the focus from himself to God. God, the one to be trusted. The psalmist remembers his vows, gives thanks, and celebrated how God had delivered his soul from death and kept his feet from falling so that he could walk in the light. Maybe breaking the silence is what we need to do. Asking for help. I don't ask for help very well. I like to be independent, I like to do my own thing. Giving thanks. Remembering the covenant. Remembering God's past deliverance of us from fear and falling. Maybe that's the way out of fear and into trust. Maybe that's the way out of fear. And for all of us, I think we should covenant together to give that a try. Break the silence, ask for help, give thanks to God, remember God's covenant. Maybe that's the way. And you and I should covenant together to try that, to trust that God can bring us out of where we are, to trust God to deliver us to the next place and the next thing, whatever that might be. That fear doesn't have to rule over us. That fear doesn't have to be the final decision maker. And so, as we start a new week, there's plenty going on. Soon Hudson and I will leave to go to speech therapy. No fear there, but there's lots of work. The rest of my day is filled with lots of things, all the way to the Court of Honor at the Scouts at 7 o'clock tonight. Lots going on in all of our lives. And maybe in some of that, we have some fear that will creep in. It'll hit us maybe when we least expect it. It's then we should remember Psalm 56:3. Maybe you should mark it. Maybe you should make a note in your phone and send it to yourself. O Most High, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. God, thank you for Psalm 56, helping us overcome fear. And in the overcoming of fear, the good news is that we find our way back to God. So, that's our daily word for today. Thanks for joining me, as always, for our time together. I am grateful. As always, know of God's love that surrounds you, and know of my love for you. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day.